Hello, hi, Jeffrey Ken, Sarasota Rising Living Arts Festival, Sarasota. Doing something I get to do just weekly. I get to visit with some amazing people from our community. Our cultural coast is fascinating. And I really do think that people always think maybe if they're listening or watching us, everybody knows each other. Like, oh, they're all best friends down there in the cultural coast in Sarasota. It's not true, because you and I, Marianne Chapel, just became friends like within the last month, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Our paths have crossed, but I was able to take a tour of SPAACES.
Yes, with two A's in the middle.
Because there's two A's, right? See, you like how I do that?
It's an acronym, which is we can get into
I'm
if you want.
I'm gonna want to hear it. So, hi,
Okay.
Marianne. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Jeffrey?
Very well, thank you. I always love just sitting and talking and getting to know. And you have an interesting story. And I mean, of course, I love to Google people and find out little things about you. So, first of all, how long have you lived in our area, in the Sarasota metropolitan area?
Yes. Well, I moved here in 2000.
Okay.
So 25 years, although I did try to move away for a little while. I took 2 years to try to figure out if there was another place I liked better, and ended up coming back to Sarasota. And
Wow.
that did a lot of changing my whole life, actually, that trip.
So, that's news to me. I love hearing it. Can I ask you, what wasn't there in the other place that you found that is here? So this is a visitor, someone that's coming to our area. We want to know. So what wasn't there that you found here?
Oh, community. Well, we missed our people. We missed our friends, really. We missed our connections. We thought it'd be really easy to become an expat and go live anywhere in the world. And this is my husband and I came up with this idea. We sold our cars and got rid of our homes, and we put everything that we loved in a small storage unit and hit the road. And we were looking for a place to be our permanent new home outside of the country at first. And then we started looking inside of the country. And then finally, it's not fun when you're not on vacation. Cost of living, who are we going to hang out with? What about the language? And then we finally said, let's just go home. And
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? This area, I moved here in 91. So I've been here a good long time too. And yeah, we have institutions and we have the beautiful weather and the great restaurants. But when it comes down to it, it's the people. So it's so great that we have a podcast where we get to talk to people. So this is Behind the Masterpiece, and I get to spend some time with you. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Can you handle it?
I think so.
Well,
don't throw me any curveballs.
I know. Well, I won't. So where did the title SPAACES, SPAACES, come from? What is that?
That stands for a Sarasota project aligning artists, communities, exhibits, and studios. So it's the aligning of the.
I love it. Wow, aligning. And do you have to do that? You have to do that with your neck when you do it, aligning. So
we're aligning.
The people that are listening can't see us, but we're dancing. People that are watching think that we're idiots. So SPAACES Art, and you are right there on Princeton Street. So people who don't know our area, there's kind of this centralized area that people drive past. And that's one of those areas where people, you're driving, you're heading north to the airport, you're heading south, but it's a great location. Princeton Street is this very unassuming, is that a good word? What that I would say? It's an unassuming street. And you have a beautiful facility with a large gallery, beautiful little area. It's great for parties. We went to an engagement there too for Sorta. She was, it was really, so you have a rentable space. And then you have room for artists. Can you talk about how that kind of works and how you're kind of different? Because what you do is different from what other organizations do. And we would love to hear about it.
Great. Yeah, thanks for asking. We are a non-for-profit, and I founded the nonprofit after traveling all over the world and wanting to come home. And I decided that what I saw in other places we didn't have here in Sarasota, which was to really support serious professional career track artists. So I founded this nonprofit to help artists with affordable art studio spaces, marketing, solo exhibitions. If an artist has a solo exhibition in a nice gallery space, it looks really good on their resume. And just to build a community of networking and bouncing off ideas off of each other. So, yeah, that's how it came about.
And, there are a lot of artists here, and I'm talking theater artists, visual artists, performing artists. I mean, there's so many creatives here. And you do not realize that there are professionals retiring or visiting their parents here. That's what we hear all the time, of course, is that, so you have a lot of, let's say, amateur artists, and there's lots of great places that they can hold their things, but yours is very specific. So like we went into one of your artist spaces, and let me tell you this, that the gentleman, that his art was so unique and so specific, and it wasn't abstract at all. And it was very interesting to see, a professional like that working in his space, and the fact that you provided that.
Yeah, it's really great. We really are happy to be around each other so that, another thing that I was trying to do is kind of imitate what the experience was that I had when I went to graduate school. So we're a really tight-knit group of artists, and we're bouncing ideas off of each other, and we were always working on new things, and what do you think of that? And so I wanted to create that, and not only to help with the artists' careers, but so we all just feel supported on this journey. And there wasn't that specific niche, to go back to your comment. There's a lot of help from like arts enthusiasts, people who are getting back to art later in life, or just want to dabble a little bit. But the person that really wants a career, like the artists here wish they could be in a museum, like in the MoMA someday, or looking for galleries in New York City. So it's a little bit different when you're a serious working artist. So it's a really awesome place for us, because I'm one of them too.
Yeah, you're not a hobbyist. This is this is your life. When you think about how did you get into being an artist? I mean, I know when I was a kid, I took art classes, and I found some of it back on the farm when I was cleaning out my family bedroom. I mean, I used to paint and draw, all that. And then I think once I found theater arts, I kind of stopped. How did your visual art, how did that start? How did you get to where
Really
you are?
interesting. My mother's an artist, so she was always working on her. She worked full time and raised 5 girls by herself. Yes, I'm the youngest of 5. And in her spare time, she was always working like with an easel and really, really beautiful artwork. And I just watched her. And then in school, I started drawing and painting, and I really enjoyed it. And, I don't know, it just felt like it was meant to be. Then I went to get my undergrad. And when I was doing that, I did take some classes like maybe I'm going to be an architect, maybe I'll be a mechanical draftsperson. So I went in that area for a little while, and I just loved painting. So yeah, I don't know. It was just like following my intuition. And then one thing led to another. And I just ended up, getting a bachelor's in fine arts painting. And then I had, of course, this wonderful teacher. There's always feels like there's a mentor somewhere that
I
says, why don't you
know.
do this? And then I
I
went to grad school.
So who was that person? Let's honor them, because this comes up more and more and
Yes.
more as we chat, is that there's a person, or there's a set of teachers or instructors who have made a difference in our lives. And I think maybe the one thing that we can do, Mr. Walton, thank you so much, is to mention their names now and then. So who was that person?
Her name is Jennifer Gordon, and she had just finished a degree from Indiana University, her master's in fine arts painting, and she was a one-year teacher at Buffalo State College, where I was going to school. So she was just there as a visiting professor, but we really hit it off, and I worked with her a ton, and she helped me with my work, and then she said, you should go do this. And so I went to her alma mater, which became mine.
Were you originally from the Northeast? Where are you from originally?
Yeah, upstate New York, Binghamton, New York is where I grew up, but I
Wow.
lived in Buffalo and Rochester as well before
No,
taking off to Indiana.
no accents. Where did your accent go?
I don't know.
Did you have one at one point?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Just,
so
just a regular upstate New York
oh, I
girl.
know. I didn't think I had an accent at all. And then when I went to college, I was talking to one of my professors, and they're like, "We can't wait to get you into speech therapy." And I'm like, "Why? I don't. There's nothing wrong with my voice." Um, Literally, I had it spoken out of me about
Where were you from?
Central Ohio. Just my
Oh,
oh yeah, that north. My aunt Kathleen talked like this. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Anyway, so I, I do a couple of characters that all end up being very, very simple Midwesterns, which is who I am altogether. So you loved it there. You then went to Indiana, which is Midwest. You got to love that. But then,
yes.
what was the trek? What's what got you from up there to down here?
Well, after Indiana University, my bachelor's of fine arts school, Buffalo State College, hired me there so I went back to teach for Buffalo State College, and I'm teaching away, enjoying my life. And then I came down here to visit my sister who lived in Sarasota around Christmas time. We had time off of work, get out of the cold. And I went to a Christmas party and I met who would be in the future my husband at a Christmas party.
Oh,
Yes. So it's
this
a love story that
This
brought me here.
podcast could not get any better. It could not get any better than talking about that time you met your true love.
It
Is it
was amazing.
so? Was there? Okay, I got to ask. Was
Yeah.
there the sparks and the fireworks and the drawing, like what? Or was it West Side Story where you're across the room and you're just drawn to each other? Like
A little bit. I mean, I didn't know him. We were at an outdoor party, and there was a fire going, and I was by the fire and looking cold, I guess. So I see this guy from way far away, and he goes, "Do you want a coat?" And I'm like, that's a good in. I mean, it was very crowded. He must have been looking
right,
at me,
right,
and then I
right.
saw him, and yeah, and
Oh,
then it was really funny. He's a man of a few words. So he comes over to talk to me, but his friend does all the talking, and he finds out I'm an artist. He's talking about Dolly and nonstop, nonstop. And then finally I say, well, it's time to get going for me. It's nice to meet you guys. And then my future husband says, do you want to go out on a date this week? It was the only thing he said the whole time. His friend was so mad. So he did all the heavy
he
lifting.
did
And then,
all the heavy lifting. Oh my, I love it. So, the next podcast, we want to have your husband on so that we can hear
okay.
his side of the story, because I think there's probably going to be I was standing there and there's all these people, and then there she was, the firelight caressing her face. And yeah, I love it. That's a great story. Well,
It was great.
we had talked about your mentor, and I don't want to get too far past that, because I feel like, without knowing it, those of us who have had strong people guide us, doesn't it make you want to do the same for another generation? I mean, I kind of feel like our role, if we've had that mentor, is to now pass that on somehow. Do you feel that
Oh,
cloak
absolutely.
do you?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the Spaces Foundation was created for all the reasons that I already mentioned, but I'm also just been giving to get this thing, really to get it legs and to take off. But all of my time is to help all of the artists that are here with their careers, giving them exhibitions, giving the artist studios. So really, I've been volunteering to help all these friends I've made to help their careers move forward. So I'm doing it full bore. I mean, I was a teacher for a long time when I graduated out of Indiana University. I taught at the Ringling for 22 years.
Oh, did
And
you really?
did it there.
So what was your role there at the Ringling? Because the Ringling is an amazing organization. There's the museum, there's the schools, it's like Ringling, Ringling, Ringling. Welcome to our world.
Yes.
So what was your story there? What were you teaching?
Foundations primarily. I taught everything, intro to drawing, figure drawing, color theory, painting, landscape painting. I've really taught a little bit of everything over the years.
And then
Yeah, I
that puts
loved
you
it.
in that perfect position to be a mentor to somebody else. You almost
Exactly.
kind of have to be in an education kind of situation. Although I did have a young man reach out to me who's a gentleman just the other day and was like, I would just like to talk to you, and you know so many people. And I mean, there are people that are out there aggressively looking for, I think, that person that's going to say, yeah, don't do that, or you should think about that.
Yes,
And gosh,
absolutely.
I wish I would have had a little bit more clarity when I was living in New York, but that's okay. I was a little, I was a little out there on my own when I was living in New York. So how can people? So people are coming to our cultural coast, and there's multi-million-dollar galleries everywhere. There's areas right there by the Bazaar and Apricot and Lime that are offshooting these beautiful galleries and spaces and working spaces for local people. So we have a lot. We have a lot going on. Your space is unique and it's kind of gorgeous. So how do you want our listening audience to get to know spaces? Do you want them to? I'm sure there's a website, right? Is there a
Yeah.
www.spaces?
Spaces.art. Spaces.art. Yep.
Okay.
And
Spaces
spaces with two A's.
spaces with two.
SPAACES.ART.
Beautiful. And then
And
people
our
can.
Instagram is the same handle.
Awesome. And then, so on that, if they were getting to know you, do you highlight the artists that are in those cubicles behind you?
Yeah.
Do you ever? Yeah. Do you have that on there? I should have looked.
Yeah.
Actually,
We
I
have
did
a
look because
Spaces studio artist there. And then we have the exhibitions are rotating. So every 4 or 5 weeks, we switch out the exhibitions. And that's on the website and it's on Instagram. Who's coming next? Who's showing now?
And I'm just going to throw you under the bus really quick because
Oh, no.
you're amazing. You're a wonderful artist, and you're out there promoting everyone except for yourself, including the art that's behind you. So you have art displayed behind you on that beautiful desk. Is that one of your area art? Is that one of your artists?
This is an artist that is showing now in the main exhibition gallery. His name is Tony Mancuso, and he teaches in Orlando at Valencia College. So he came down from Orlando, and those are some of his smaller works, but his other pieces are huge, like 6 feet by 4 feet paintings that are hanging right now.
Interesting. And you said that changes every month or so. It's not a on the dot kind of thing. What's next? Because I'll bet you, because you have the people need to imagine as they're listening and watching, you have a beautiful white building with a beautiful gallery, and then down to the side, there's all the things. I mean, you have a really nice setup. What's next for Spaces?
Yeah, we want to continue to grow and get our, we're a nonprofit, so I had to take a lot of classes, and I know how to paint and teach, but I didn't know how to be the director of a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
So as I continue to move this organization forward and get better at being a director, we're fundraising, we're having, galas and parties and whatever we can to continue to grow. We are currently renting the building. So we rent these, we have 7,500 square feet of studio space and gallery space.
You have a byline mantra, your values. Spaces values inclusivity, equity, and the freedom to express identity.
Yes.
I loved it.
So do I. Yeah.
Has that been the mantra from the beginning? Has it changed at all?
No, I just keep making it more and more clear, actually, as time goes on. And I love to do art show art in the gallery that has a deeper meaning or context behind it. So all of the art has something that's maybe it's a social issue that we want to bring to light, or maybe it's whatever the artist has going on. So I curate all the shows and I go really deep into that artist, seeing, how do they write about their artwork? What are their bigger intentions? So my thing is to show art that affects social change. So I love to do anything that has that where people have the freedom to express something that maybe they can't express that in a more commercial gallery. You know, they have the opportunity here to do some more experimental work in some maybe areas that aren't quite as mainstream approved, I guess.
Right. So the niche that you're filling is a great one because you're doing something that's unique and that the community needs. And so thank you for all that. You know, no one ever thanks the boss. So I'm gonna thank you for
Thank you
all
for
that you do.
me.
Yeah. How many people work with you? I think I met a wonderful coworker of yours, right?
Yes, we have one contract. They're all contractors. So there's people that come in and help with the website, or people that come in with help with social media. We do have interns, but really we only have one, maybe two. One that's more about 20 hours a week, and then one that's more like 5 hours a week. And then we have interns that constantly rotate in and out. So
That's
yeah,
great.
I get some help.
So listeners out there and people that are visiting, they can send their kids to you as interns.
Yeah,
They can become.
absolutely. Most of our outreach has been on college websites, so we're usually getting college students.
Yeah.
But I would love to grow our intern or our volunteer program so we could have volunteers that come and just, man the door during our opening parties. We have these big art exhibition opening nights, so we always need manpower to help with any of that.
So that's a great thing to put out there into the universe that you're probably looking for some great board members as well. So you're looking for that organization, that person that says Spaces deserves that space. So I'm going to stroke them that check. We're going to put that out there in that universe, because there are organizations and there are philanthropists that would look at that as a great investment. So when I was at the Players, we bought a building to hold our sets and our things. And, yes, it was $1 million, but to have a space that you can do everything in is of value, and you can rent and rent and rent and rent. But of course, when you own it, that's when I think you're really digging in your feet to your community when you own something. So
yes,
I'm going to think that for you.
Great. Thank you.
We're going to make that happen. Magic powers.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Did I tell you how fast this went? We are already done.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that flew by.
I know. What didn't I ask you?
I don't know.
I think I asked you pretty good things.
Yeah, I think so too.
You're amazing. It's great to get to know you. And like I said, all of us aren't best of friends down here. We're all, our circles sometimes match and cross each other, right?
Yes.
It's great to get to know and to meet and talk with and support new organizations, and your organizations, which has legs and wings. How's that?
I love it. That's beautiful. Yes, I love it. Thank you.
Thanks so much for your time, Marianne Chapel. I appreciate you and the work that you do, and all that you do to make our Cultural Coast so amazing. Thank you for being on our podcast.
Thank you, Jeffrey. It's been a pleasure. I'm so grateful to have been here. It's been really fun.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Jeffrey Ken as a part of Visit Sarasota's Behind the Masterpiece. We love listening to our arts practitioners, and we want you to listen as well. So make sure you join us at sarasotapodcast.com, and we'll see you at the next interview.